What's up, everybody? How you doing? I'm the big dog named Austin. You already know what it is. It's week 18. It's time for my picks. I've got other videos that I've had all week. I know y'all been waiting for my week 18 picks. You want to see what's going to happen in week 18. We got some games that absolutely matter. We got some games that don't really matter. But we're going to pick them all anyway. So, let's get started. It is Saturday. It is game day, January 6th, 2024. You already know what's going on. But let's get with it. Let's get to it. The Pittsburgh Steelers are traveling to the Baltimore Ravens today, 4:30, excuse me. The Steelers, they're fighting for their playoff lives. They need some help. But the Ravens, good news for the Steelers, the Ravens are resting most of their guys. The Ravens have got the number 1 seed locked up. So, Steelers are 3-point favorites on the road at Baltimore. But you got to think, man. I mean, Baltimore's still a great team. You know, and Pittsburgh's starting their third-string quarterback, and Mason Rudolph, I assume that's who's starting. Tomlin's a great coach, man, but I think I got to go with Baltimore in this one. Maybe Pittsburgh, wins in a close one, but Baltimore, man, they've been destroying everybody. So I feel like that their backups have been getting reps, and I feel like that they're ready to go too. So I got Baltimore in this one. Then the game of the week. I don't care about any other game until this one's done, until the Colts win. I think the Colts beat the Texans. The Texans, man, they're 1-point favorites on the road. The Colts started out as 1-point favorites at home, and then it transitioned to the Texans. Their injury report favors us. The only thing that I think really favors the Houston Texans is their quarterback, C.J. Stroud. This is it, though. This is it. Let's see what this says. Against the spread, the Texans are 8-8. The Colts are 9-7. I don't know if it means anything. Series record, Colts lead 33-10-1. Last meeting, the Colts beat the Texans 31-21 on September 17th. I don't think that one matters. But this game absolutely matters. I think the Colts get it done. Big game, though. Big game. Then we move to Sunday. We've got the Atlanta Falcons against the New Orleans Saints. This game could be for the NFC South, depending on what the Buccaneers do against the Carolina Panthers. But let's pick this game. The Falcons at the Saints. The Falcons are 7-9. The Saints are 8-8. I think the Saints win this one. This game might not matter, like I said, depending on what happens in the Buccaneers game. I'm going to go ahead and pick that one next. The Buccaneers, if they win the NFC South. So, but if they lose, the winner of the Falcons-Saints game then wins the South. So, a lot of things going on, but it's at Carolina. The Carolina Panthers are in shambles. They're looking to get out of the season. Tomorrow, you've got guys, or not tomorrow. Monday, you've got guys booked on flights already, ready to get out of here, get to the Caribbean, take their vacation for the Carolina Panthers. So, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to win the NFC North. The Saints are going to win at home against the Falcons. Then we move on to another big game. The winner of the AFC South, if the Jaguars lose, will be played tonight. Will be won tonight by the Colts. The Jaguars at the Tennessee Titans. The Jags are favored by 4 points on the road. They should have Trevor Lawrence. This is a game I don't really think that the Tennessee Titans are going to win, but after what Mike Vrabel, said, there's a chance that the Titans could win. But I'm still going to pick the Jaguars. I don't want to rely on the Titans to have to win the division. Let's get a wild card spot as the Colts. Let's just go at it next year, at the division next year. So, yeah, give me the Jaguars in that one. Then you've got the Minnesota Vikings at the Detroit Lions. The Vikings, they're still in it, but they need some help. They're 7-9. They've got the Saints, Seahawks, Packers all above them. But they're playing the Lions. And the Lions are in Detroit. The Lions are pissed off about what happened last week against the Dallas Cowboys. The Lions, they might not really have much to play for. They could gain some ground. They could get to that 2 seed if the Cowboys lose this week. I don't see that happening. So, I still think the Lions win either way. Because, the Vikings got dismantled last week against the Packers. I just don't see the Vikings having enough to beat the Lions. And Vegas doesn't think so either. The Lions are 3.5-point favorites. So, give me the Lions in that one. The New York Jets at the New England Patriots. The Patriots are 2-point favorites at home. Give me the Jets in this one. The Patriots, I think, are wanting to lose this game, honestly, because I feel like it helps their draft position. That's what some Patriots fans have been talking about all year after they realized that they weren't going to be in the playoffs with Mac Jones. They want a new quarterback. They want to restart. But I think the Jets are going to win this game. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Carolina Panthers, I already picked that game. I'm just moving on down the list here. Pick the Buccaneers. The Cleveland Browns at the Cincinnati Bengals. This game means absolutely nothing. It is a good game. Like, on paper, you look at this game. The 8-8 Bengals against the 11-5 Browns. The Bengals are barely out of the playoffs. They lost last week to the Chiefs. That put them out of the playoffs. But this, on paper, could be a decent game, but the Browns aren't playing anybody. The Bengals, they're depleted. I don't know what's going on. That's a toss-up, honestly. The Bengals are favored by 7 points at home. And go ahead and give me the Bengals, I guess, just because of that line. That line alone shifted my belief on what's going to happen. But the Browns could definitely win. I don't know, but the Browns are locked into where they're at. They're the 5 seed in the AFC, so they can't move. They're on the road next week no matter what happens. The Seattle Seahawks at the Arizona Cardinals. The Seattle Seahawks could make it in to the wild card spot. The Arizona Cardinals, though, coming off of a very, very surprising upset win in Philadelphia last week. The Cardinals, they're not packing it up. They're not packing it in. You know what? Give me the Cardinals in this one. Give me the Cardinals at home against the Seahawks. The Cardinals playing spoiler to their division rival, the Seahawks. That's one to watch. I think that's one to watch. That game, I think if the Seahawks win and the Packers win against the Bears, it ultimately won't matter. I feel like the Packers will get in. They probably will. But it'd be cool for the Cardinals to play spoiler, especially the position they're in this year. And, like what they did last week. Last week was crazy. Ride that momentum into the last game and see what happens in the offseason. You never know. The Chicago Bears at the Green Bay Packers. As I just mentioned, this game is pretty big. The Chicago Bears, they were on a bit of a heater. They missed their opportunity to make the playoffs. They're 7-9. I bet you a lot of Chicago Bears fans are a little like, okay, let's see what Justin Fields has got one more time. I think they locked in the number 1 pick, and quite unfortunately, I think I know who they're going to pick. Probably going to be Marvin Harrison Jr. So, not looking forward to that. But I think Bears fans are actually pretty hopeful for the future. I think the Packers get this game in Lambeau, winning your in scenario for the Packers. Jordan Love is playing absolutely phenomenal. I don't think you could beat the Packers, but Bears fans, I think that they're looking up. They're looking up. They're definitely looking up. The Philadelphia Eagles at the Giants. The Eagles are on a little bit of a downswing, but this is the Giants. The Eagles are 4.5-point favorites not home, on the road. Yeah, it's going to be the Eagles. The Eagles are going to wrap up the division with no. They're not going to wrap up the division with this win. The Cowboys will win the division if they beat the Commanders. But yeah, the Eagles they still can fight for the division. They can still win the division if the Cowboys lose. So I don't think the Eagles are going to be resting anybody. So give me the Eagles in that one. The Rams at the Niners. I think the Niners are probably resting. And the Niners are probably resting. The Rams, they could be resting. They can't win the division. This game doesn't affect either of these two teams, even though it's low-key a playoff preview. Isn't that wild? But I don't even know who to pick in this game. I'm just going to pick the Rams because it's the home team. But man, I mean that could be a playoff preview. It really could be a playoff preview. But give the Rams, and who in this game means nothing. Like if it is a playoff preview and these two teams meet in the playoffs, being the 49ers and Rams, this game is going to be nothing. You can throw out the game tape because none of these players that would be playing in the would-be playoff game are going to be playing in this game. So that's crazy to think that a Week 18, a regular season game, means absolutely nothing to these two teams. They're both locked into where they're at. I think that the Rams could actually drop to the 7 seed. That's a possibility. So the Rams might be playing for something. Actually, the Rams might be playing for something, which makes things a lot more interesting. Give me the Rams. Give me the Rams in this one. I don't know. Maybe they will be playing for something. The Broncos at the Raiders. This is one of those games that means absolutely nothing to nobody. Russell Wilson's been benched. The Raiders, congratulations, y'all smoked your cigars after you scored a franchise record 63 points against the Chargers, and then Max Crosby gets one hit on Gardner Minshew. Yeah, smoke your cigars. Go ahead. With the Raiders and the Broncos in Las Vegas, give me the Raiders. Smoke your cigars. Have fun. Yeah, finish your season 8-9. The Chiefs at the Chargers. The Chiefs, I think they're resting most of their guys. The Chargers absolutely suck, but they're 3.5-point favorites. Give me the Chiefs in this one. I think the Chiefs win. No reason to think that. I just think the Chargers suck. The Dallas Cowboys, the Washington Commanders. This game absolutely matters for the Dallas Cowboys. But I think the Commanders are going to come out swinging. This game means nothing for the Commanders. They're 4-12. They're not going to win. The Cowboys are going to win this game. But it's going to be a lot closer than a 13-point road favorite for the Dallas Cowboys. I think it's going to be a one-possession game. People are going to be surprised how close this game is going to be. But I think the Commanders keep it close, but the Cowboys ultimately win. One last game. The last game of the season. The Bills at the Dolphins. For the AFC North. East, excuse me. I'm stupid. For the AFC East title. The Bills at the Dolphins. The Bills, who everybody thought were dead. I thought the Bills were dead. I thought the Bills were not going to make the playoffs. The Bills still can miss the playoffs. Will they? I don't know. Look, the Bills are coming in. They're coming in hot. They're 10-6 right now. They're winners of their last 4. They're 4-1 in the last 5. I just think that I counted them out. I definitely did, but they've started to play a lot better. And I think that if the Bills are going to go on a playoff run, I think that's what's going to help them the most. But they could really sneak into this second seed, into this 2 seed. They could seriously sneak into that spot. And that's crazy to think. The Dolphins have been exposed. The Dolphins have lost their last couple. They've lost their last one. Let me look at Chits' schedule here, because I want to make sure. They beat the Cowboys, which is an impressive win. They lost to the Titans a couple weeks ago, and they lost to the Ravens. They got exposed by the Ravens in Baltimore. This is a big game for the Miami Dolphins. It being in Miami, I think Miami's going to be pumped up. I think Miami's going to be fired up. It's tough because the Bills are playing excellent football right now. Bills are 2.5-point favorites. Man, the Dolphins have not. I don't know when the last time the Dolphins have won the AFC East, but I'm sure it's been a long time. They're ready to go. So you know what? Give me the Miami Dolphins against the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills, I think, would probably need the Jaguars to lose. I don't know what their situation is, but give me the Dolphins to win this game. This is a crazy weekend. We're here. This is it. I hope you have all enjoyed this season, whether your team has been good or bad. Like speaking as a Colts fan, where we were last year, that 4-12-1. I remember going to that game last year against the Texans, and losing the way we did. And now here we are. 1 year later, we're in a win-and-you're-in situation. I know I keep talking about the Colts. I'm just super excited. But, it goes so fast. Football, you get into week 1, you're like, oh, I'm so excited. Or you get into training camp, and you can't wait for preseason. You get into preseason, and you can't wait for the regular season. And the regular season happens, and you're so excited, and you get all into it. And each week is so fun to watch, so fun to get into. And all the wins and losses for each and every team, and all the standings, and all the great plays all throughout the season, it's great to watch. It's absolutely great to watch. And you get into it, and you're like, oh, who's going to make this? Who's going to make it to the playoffs? Who's going to make it to the playoffs? Who's going to win this? Who's going to win that? And you get it, and you get to week 18, and you realize, we're already here. This is it. This is one last week of football for a lot of teams. 16 teams, or 18 teams in the NFL are done after this. 14 teams, they continue their season. They continue to play football. But most of the league, they're done. That's it. We're on to a lot less football after this week. So enjoy tonight. Enjoy tomorrow. And most importantly, go Colts!